Alright, so we're back here in Hogtown, PA to update the Axeman heat wood boiler project here. And if you remember last time, we had added a separate auger motor to drive the auger only when the unit is ashing. And we ended up running into a problem with that. It didn't seem to ash quite enough, and the transfer head would run out of coal. The auger remained full, so it wasn't a problem of the auger not spinning enough. It's just that it spent too much time not ashing to keep the transfer head and the feed tube full. So what we think it turned out to be was the Anthrastat. Because it was a bit touchy. It would suddenly click on when you would touch it once in a while. So we put another one on there and everything seems to be good now. We haven't gotten to the point of putting the belt back on the second motor. Right now it's just running the figure 8 belt. So just to be sure it gets through this cold spell. I think maybe tomorrow we'll get back to playing around with the extra motor and see how that goes. And the guy that owns it added a ash temperature gauge. Right there, looks like what, 125, 130 or something like that. Anthrastat is set at 140. So that seems to be operating pretty good. This is just a regular old 12-inch long barbecue thermometer that you can get at a lot of hardware stores. You probably find them online somewhere. And because we were having that problem, we actually put the solenoid back on. So the solenoid is now triggered by this relay. So basically one side of the relay is connected to the solenoid and the other side of the relay is connected to the motor. But we don't have a belt on the motor right now, but as you can see, turn it on, away it goes. Running the original figure 8 belt configuration down there. It was keeping up with heat demand plenty good, so we decided to try a 4-inch fan pulley in place of the 5-inch fan pulley, and it's not, heat-wise, it's not having any problems keeping up. We also got a clock / thermometer in here. It's up kind of high, but as you can see, it's about 93 or 94 degrees in here. Well, up that high anyway. It's probably only about 80 down here where I am right now. But the boiler's giving off a lot of heat into this space, but it has actually gotten cold enough now that the rest of this outbuilding has started to call for heat. So before, just the radiant heat from the Axeman being in here was keeping the whole area warm enough to keep the thermostat from coming on. But it's been cold for a little while now, so we're actually getting some work out of that heating system in the rest of the outbuilding here. The house runs normal. You're heating the radiant zone and a water-to-air heat exchanger in the basement in the ductwork, and also heating the house's domestic water. So yeah, that's about it. Other than having transfer head run out of coal problems due to probably the Anthrastat being a little iffy, things are running good. Out from Hogtown, PA. Okay, so we've decided to go ahead and play around with the auger motor being separate again. So I took the figure 8 belt off of the fan motor and connected it to the auger motor, and we'll see if this is actually cured now. I think it will be, because the other Anthrastat was acting kind of iffy, so this will probably cure that situation. So we're going to let it run like this for a while, and hopefully the transfer head stays full. We could take a peek in there right now just to see what's going on. Should be kicking on for a heat call any minute now. So right now, as you can see, it's full up all the way there. That's about as full as the transfer head gets. So we should be good to go for our little test. It was kind of baffling why the transfer head was running out of coal. We actually lost the fire a couple times because it got down so far. You know, actually got down far enough that the fire burned out. So that caused a couple sleepless nights, and we don't want that to be happening. So where are we at now? Looks like we're under 150. So it should be kicking on any second now. Alright, we'll wait for it to come back on and see how well this belt runs on there. Well, I was wondering why the temperature was getting a little low. It's down to 145 right now. And then I did the typical, gee, wonder what that switch does. So I'm betting as soon as I turn that switch on, it's going to fire up. So we'll get the belt alignment right on here as we switch the ash is a bit too warm for the ashing motor to fire up. Okay, we'll come back in a few minutes when it's decided it's going to ash. Okay, so the auger fired up. Gee, what's the temperature say? About 120, something like that. 125 on the ash temperature. Belt alignment. Looks good enough. This thing's really quiet when the auger's not running. If I shut it off. You can hear a little bit of a roar out of the chimney and a little bit of belt noise. That's about it. right, well, that ashing on and off cycle seemed pretty normal, so guess we'll leave it run for a day like this and hopefully it all works out.